Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Mina. Welcome to my channel, Mina Reads, and today we're going to be doing the anti-TBR tag. This tag was invented by Nicole from Nicole and Her Books. I saw her video when she first posted it. It was really fun and it's been really popular recently, so I decided that I should do it too. So, first question. A popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. I'm going to have to say Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. All of the fantasy fans are about to flame me in the comments, but every time I've heard it described to me, it's just like it goes in one ear and out the other. It's just nothing about it sounds interesting to me. None of my bookish friends have been able to sell me on the series yet, so it's just not something I'm interested in, even though it seems like everybody is in love with it. So, I mean, I welcome you to pitch it to me in the comments below, because so far, nothing has been pitched to me that sounds particularly interesting. But I'm happy for you guys. Glad that you guys are having fun, but it just might not be for me. So the next one is a classic book that, let me see, I can't read. A classic book or author you don't have an interest in reading. I'm gonna have to say Ulysses by James Joyce. I just have absolutely no interest in reading that, like to the point where I have switched out of classes after finding out that that's on the syllabus, because I have no interest in reading that. Like, it's long, it's stream of consciousness, it's just no. Absolutely not. I hate stream of consciousness narratives for the most part, and I just have no interest in that. Everyone that I know that has read it talks about how like it's really just long and confusing, and it's just like, why would I want that in my life? Who needs that negativity? Not me. So it will never ever be on my TBR unless my English major calls for it, but fingers crossed I never have to read it for a class. An author whose books you have no interest in reading. For me, that's going to have to be Stephen King. Just no interest whatsoever in any of his books. I read Misery last year, and I think that Misery, it does a lot of really brilliant things in terms of like the writing and King's technique and all that great shit, but it's just absolutely no reason for him to be using the N-word in that book. N-word was used a number of times. It was unnecessary and gratuitous, and I just didn't like it. So I have no interest in reading anything else from him or like buying from him. It's just not my ministry. I'm sure other people are having lots of fun with his work. You know, the horror girlies, they love him, they eat him up, but it won't be for me. Question 3.2, which is interesting. We got a subheading to this one. Love that. So question is, a problematic author whose book you have no interest in reading. Can Stephen King count? Because he's a white man using the N-word in his books. No? Okay. So I'm going to say Mackenzie Lee. She wrote A Gentleman's Guide to Vices and Virtues or something like that. And I have seen her canceled a number of times on book Twitter. Do I know what she was canceled for? Not particularly, because she's been canceled at least 5 times in the time that I've been on book Twitter. So I have no idea about the details, but apparently she's problematic. I would personally cancel her just because her book was fucking trash. Like, I hated that book. I think it was so bad. Like, I read it last year and I just thought it was like the most boring adventure novel I've ever read. It was so fucking horrible, like just truly horrendous. And the way that she wrote the black main character, garbage. The way that the white protagonist like treats the black main character, garbage. So she needs to be canceled for that alone, let alone whatever she's doing in her personal life, because that book is garbage, mama.
What is this, honey?
Trash. Editing Amina here, and basically I just went on a whole rant and I don't know if I really actually answered the question. So to answer the question, Mackenzie Lee, I have absolutely no interest in reading any of her future projects because none of them sound interesting, and her original project that I read was terrible. Okay, next question. Question number 4 is an author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you. The way that I can't read, like I really need new glasses. It's like really, really bad. The answer to this is going to have to be Alice Feeney. This month, in October, I was like on this little thriller kick, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read thrillers and I'm gonna get into like thriller and horror and all that. And it was the first book I read in October, and it was so bad. I gave it 1 star. It was trash to me. Like, I hated every single element of it. Like, the characters were boring, they were bland as fuck, the story was bland as fuck, the plot twist was garbage.
It's hair, whack. It's gear, whack. It's jewelry, whack.
I just hated everything about it. Just everything about the book, trash to me. Is absolutely never gonna read from that author again. Like, they didn't sell me on anything. I was bored throughout the entire thriller. It was a thriller. I was never thrilled.
Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking shit.
The characters were so stupid. They were absolutely idiotic. Like, to the point where it didn't even make sense. They just had no brain cells whatsoever. It was just boring to read about them, boring to see how they navigated the story. And then it was just like really intense and graphic, like sexual assault in the book, and it was like, for what reason? And then the plot twist was just, it was absolute garbage to me. I really didn't like it. We'll never read another Alice Feeney book again, and that's on period, honey, because child, it was a mess. Okay, the next question is a genre you have no interest in or a genre you tried and couldn't get into. And the answer to this question might be thrillers. As I mentioned before, in October, I was trying to devote some of my reading time to thrillers, and I was actually planning to make like this like 3 thriller vlog or whatever. I might try it again, but the results of the vlog were just bad, so like it's a canceled video. So I mean, maybe I could try it again and some future date. But I tried 3 thrillers this month. Either I really hated it, like His and Hers, or I felt like mid-tier about it and it was just like, it was okay. And then the other one on the other spectrum that I enjoyed it not necessarily because it was thrilling or like a great mystery, but just because I thought the author, like I liked the way that she wrote her dialogue and her characters, so it was entertaining enough for me to keep reading it, but not necessarily because I was thrilled or like enthralled by the mystery. So I feel like thrillers just might not be for me, or maybe I'm not reading the right thrillers. I don't know. Recommend me some thrillers in the comments below, and maybe you could change my mind, but so far it's seeming like thrillers and like mystery is just not for me, baby. Okay, the next question is a book that you bought but will never read. Okay, so I think my answer to this is going to be Steel Crow Saga by Paul Krueger, because I was really excited about this, really interested in it. It felt like a lot of my friends on Twitter were talking about it at one point, but I recently heard some things about this author like sexually harassing women, and I'm going to put an allegedly over this because I don't have all the details and I don't have like the tweets as proof right now because I think the original person deleted those tweets, but allegedly there were some accusations of like sexual harassment from this author, and I just feel uncomfortable about it. So I'll probably never read this. It's just not like immediately on the TBR, so I don't know. I mean, I own it, but am I gonna read it? Probably not. Alright, so the next question is a series you have no interest in reading or a series you started and have DNF'd. I'm gonna have to go with Jasmine Guillory's The Wedding Date series. This is editing Amina here. I have absolutely no idea why I said her name like that. I'm pretty sure it's Jasmine Guillory, but anyways, back to the video. I read The Wedding Date, and at the time I thought that it was okay, but I actually hadn't read that many romances at the time, and looking back on it, I really just didn't like it. Like, I felt like the characters were very immature and annoying, and I mean, a lot of romance characters are kind of like stupid, and that's even like a trope, like idiots in love, but these characters, they were just kind of frustrating and annoying, and I didn't feel like the author did a great job of writing like chemistry. I also didn't think the author did an amazing job of writing like sex or anything in her books. Like it's weird to me because whenever she does like interviews, or I read interviews from her in like, you know, publications, they'll always talk about how like she basically invented like consensual sexy sex in traditionally published books, and like she absolutely did not. Her books, they do not slap like that. That's just me. But yeah, I just don't think I'll be continuing on with that series. Also, like, for me, there's this one element in the Wedding Date that I really hated, where the main guy, the hero, Drew, he's a white man, and the protagonist, I think her name's Alexa or Lexus, maybe, something like that. She's a black lady, and she basically has to like teach Drew about like racism and microaggressions and stuff, and that's just absolutely not swoon worthy to me. I have absolutely no interest in reading like the relationships where the black person has to teach their partner about what racism is all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it doesn't do it for me. Last question is a new release you have no interest in reading. For me, this one is going to be Midnight Sun by Stephanie Myers. I think that Stephanie Myers has written Twilight into the ground. Like, I mean, it was already not that great. Like, when I read it as a youth, I was eating it up. Really loved it. I was obsessed. You know, I was standing when it first came out. But she, first of all, I mean, upon reflection as an adult, like, there's so much problematic, fucked up shit in that book. But even beyond that, like, why does she keep rewriting the same book? Like, she already wrote like Life and Death, which is like, Isn't that the one where it's like gender bent or whatever? So she already wrote that one. Now she's writing from Edward's perspective, and it's like, do something else, do something different. Like, you don't have no other ideas swirling around in that brain of yours. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why you continue to rehash the same storyline. You could just leave it as is, and you're still selling copies of Twilight to today. So why are you publishing Twilight rehashed from a different point of view? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. But speaking of Stephenie Meyer, she really did the Quileute tribe terribly. So please support the Quileute tribe in their initiative to move to higher ground. They're on coastal land, and you know, climate change has caused living on the coast to be really, really difficult. So they're attempting to move to higher ground, and they can use some funds to do that. So I'll leave the link in my description below if you want to donate to the Quileute tribe and help them move their tribe to higher ground. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. And I'm pretty sure that's all the questions. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Make sure you check out Nicole's original tag video, and I'll leave the questions and the link to her video in the description below. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And a special thank you to all of my wonderful patrons.